The Soviet Union's military might was once a source of pride and fear. It cast a long shadow over the world. The Soviet military doctrine emphasized overwhelming force. It relied on vast quantities of tanks, artillery, and aircraft. This doctrine was evident in the massive stockpiles of weapons and equipment produced during the Cold War. These stockpiles were intended to give the Soviet Union a strategic advantage in any potential conflict with the West. The Soviet Union's military-industrial complex was a state-run behemoth. It churned out weapons at an unprecedented scale. This vast arsenal was spread across the Warsaw Pact nations. It was also exported to allies and client states around the globe. From Kalashnikov rifles to T-72 tanks, Soviet-made weapons became ubiquitous symbols of communist power. The legacy of this bygone era still shapes Russia's military posture. Russia inherited the vast majority of the Soviet Union's military hardware. This inheritance includes a mix of aging but still lethal weapon systems alongside more modern equipment. However, maintaining this arsenal has proven to be a significant challenge for the Russian Federation. The collapse of the Soviet Union left Russia with a shrinking economy. It also disrupted the intricate supply chains that supported its military-industrial complex. As a result, Russia has struggled to maintain its aging arsenal and modernize outdated equipment. The Soviet Union's military-industrial complex was a product of its totalitarian system. Centralized planning allowed massive military production. Factories produced tanks, planes, missiles, and other weapons. This was driven by the Cold War confrontation. The Soviet Union viewed the West as an existential threat. A strong military was essential for survival. Heavy investment in research aimed to surpass the US. The focus was on quantity over quality. The collapse of the Soviet Union had a devastating impact on its once mighty military machine. The Soviet military-industrial complex, starved of funding and central planning, ground to a halt. Many factories were closed. Skilled workers were left unemployed or forced to find new trades. The maintenance and upkeep of the Soviet Union's vast arsenal became a significant challenge for the newly independent Russian Federation. Years of neglect took their toll. Weapons systems were left to rust and decay in open fields. Ammunition dumps became hazardous due to improper storage.
While Russia still possesses a formidable quantity of Soviet-era weaponry, the quality and reliability of these systems are questionable. The lack of proper maintenance, spare parts, and trained personnel further exacerbates the problem. This raises serious concerns about Russia's ability to effectively utilize these weapons in a modern conflict.
Recognizing the limitations of its aging arsenal, Russia has embarked on an ambitious modernization program for its armed forces. Under President Vladimir Putin, Russia has sought to revitalize its defense industry and develop new cutting-edge weapon systems. This modernization effort has focused on several key areas, including the development of new tanks, fighter jets, missiles, and nuclear weapon systems. Russia has also invested heavily in modernizing its command and control systems, as well as its intelligence-gathering capabilities.
The Russian defense industry, hampered by corruption and inefficiency, has struggled to produce new weapon systems on schedule and within budget. Furthermore, the imposition of Western sanctions on Russia following its invasion of Ukraine in 2022 has further constrained its ability to acquire advanced technology and components from abroad. Russia has been forced to rely on indigenous production and seek alternative suppliers, such as China, which has limited its options and increased costs.
Section 5. Bridging the gap from Soviet hardware to cutting-edge technology.
The transition from Soviet-era weaponry to modern military equipment is a complex and multifaceted process for Russia. It involves not only replacing outdated hardware, but also adapting to new military doctrines and technological advancements.
One of the most significant differences between Soviet-era and modern Russian weapon systems is the emphasis on precision and accuracy. While Soviet doctrine prioritized overwhelming firepower, modern Russian military thinking recognizes the importance of minimizing collateral damage and achieving specific military objectives with greater precision.
This shift is evident in the development of new Russian weapon systems, such as the Kalibr cruise missile, which has a range of over 1,500 kilometers and can be launched from a variety of platforms, including ships, submarines, and aircraft. The Kalibr missile has been used effectively in Syria, demonstrating Russia's ability to project power far beyond its borders.
Another area where Russia has made significant strides is in the development of advanced electronic warfare systems.
Section 6. The price of power, economic realities, and the arms race.
Modernizing a military is an expensive endeavor. Russia's economic realities have played a significant role in shaping its ability to acquire new weapon systems and maintain its military capabilities.
While Russia possesses vast natural resources, its economy has been plagued by corruption, inefficiency, and a dependence on energy exports. The global decline in oil prices in recent years has put a strain on the Russian budget, limiting the resources available for defense spending.
Despite these challenges, Russia has consistently allocated a significant portion of its GDP to defense spending. This commitment to maintaining a strong military reflects Russia's geopolitical ambitions and its determination to reassert itself as a major global power.
However, the economic realities facing Russia have forced it to make difficult choices, prioritizing certain areas of military modernization over others.
Section 7. Case studies in obsolescence tanks, planes, and missiles. To understand the scope of Russia's military transition, it's helpful to examine specific examples of Soviet-era weapon systems and their current status. Tanks. The T-72 tank, once the backbone of the Soviet Army, remains in service in large numbers. However, its age and lack of modernization make it vulnerable to modern anti-tank weapons. Russia has introduced newer tanks, such as the T-90 and the T-14 Armata, but their production has been limited due to cost and technical challenges. Aircraft. The MiG-29 and Su-27 fighter jets, while formidable in their time, are outmatched by newer American and European aircraft in terms of stealth, avionics, and weapon systems. Russia is developing the Su-57 stealth fighter, but it has yet to enter full production. Missiles. Russia retains a vast arsenal of ballistic and cruise missiles, including the SS-18 Satan and the Topol-M intercontinental ballistic missiles.
Asymmetric warfare. Russia's new battlefield.
In addition to modernizing its conventional forces, Russia has also adapted its military doctrine to emphasize asymmetric warfare. This approach recognizes the changing nature of warfare in the 21st century and seeks to exploit the vulnerabilities of more powerful adversaries.
Cyber warfare has emerged as a key component of Russia's asymmetric capabilities. Russia has been linked to numerous cyber attacks against governments, businesses, and critical infrastructure in the West. These attacks demonstrate Russia's ability to disrupt and sow chaos without resorting to traditional military force.
Drone technology is another area where Russia has made significant strides. Russia has deployed armed drones in Syria, showcasing their potential for reconnaissance, surveillance, and targeted strikes. The use of drones allows Russia to project force without risking the lives of pilots and at a lower cost than traditional air power.
Russia has also invested heavily in electronic warfare capabilities. Electronic warfare systems can disrupt enemy communications, radar, and other electronic systems, blinding and confusing opponents on the battlefield.
Section 9. Expert opinions. Assessing the impact of Russia's military transition. Military experts and geopolitical analysts have closely observed Russia's military transformation.
They offer a range of perspectives on its progress, challenges, and implications for global security.
Some experts argue that Russia's modernization efforts have been exaggerated. They point to the slow pace of new weapons procurement, the persistence of corruption in the defense industry, and the continued reliance on Soviet-era equipment as evidence that Russia's military remains far behind its Western counterparts.
Others contend that Russia has made significant progress in modernizing its armed forces, particularly in key areas such as nuclear weapons, long-range missiles, and electronic warfare. They argue that Russia's military doctrine, which emphasizes asymmetric warfare and hybrid tactics, compensates for its quantitative disadvantages and poses a significant threat to NATO.
The reality likely lies somewhere in between these two extremes. Russia's military is a work in progress, facing significant challenges, but also demonstrating determination to rebuild its military might. Section 10. Russia's evolving military doctrine. Implications for global security. Russia's military modernization efforts are inextricably linked to its evolving military doctrine.
This doctrine, shaped by the lessons learned from recent conflicts and the changing nature of warfare, has significant implications for global security. One of the key tenets of Russia's modern military doctrine is the concept of new generation warfare.
This concept encompasses a wide range of hybrid tactics, including cyber attacks, disinformation campaigns, economic coercion, and the use of irregular forces. Section 11. A new era of warfare, the future of Russia's military power. The future of Russia's military power will be shaped by a complex interplay of factors, including economic trends, technological advancements, and geopolitical developments.
Russia's ability to overcome its current challenges and achieve its military ambitions will have profound implications for global security. One of the key questions facing Russia is whether it can sustain its current levels of defense spending in the face of economic headwinds. The Russian economy remains heavily dependent on energy exports, and the global transition to renewable energy sources could undermine this key source of revenue.
Technological innovation will also play a crucial role in shaping Russia's military future. Russia has made significant strides in developing advanced weapon systems, such as hypersonic missiles and autonomous weapons. However, it remains to be seen whether Russia can maintain this pace of innovation and compete with the United States and China in the long term.
Geopolitical factors will also play a significant role in determining Russia's military trajectory.
Section 12. Conclusion. A resurgent bear or a paper tiger. The transition from Soviet-era weaponry to modern military capabilities is a defining challenge for Russia in the 21st century. It is a process fraught with challenges, setbacks, and uncertainties.
The outcome of this transition will have profound implications for Russia's place in the world and the future of global security. Russia's military is a complex mix of aging Soviet-era hardware and modern, cutting-edge weapon systems. While Russia has made strides in modernizing its armed forces, it still faces significant challenges, including economic constraints, technological limitations, and the enduring legacy of the Soviet era.
Despite these challenges, Russia has demonstrated its determination to remain a major military power. It has shown a willingness to use its military might to achieve its geopolitical objectives. The West must carefully assess Russia's capabilities and intentions. It must avoid underestimating the potential threat posed by a resurgent Russia.